let's learn about how nerve cells are adapted to do their job. Now, we know about the basic structure of nerve cells, and we know that in a nervous impulse, we have sensory, relay, and motor neurons. We're going to learn about how these neurons are similar and different to each other. Okay, I'm going to start my explanation with how these neurons take information into and out of our central nervous system. We have seen this kind of information before, but just to make sure we're totally comfortable with this, we have our receptor. It will detect a stimulus. Okay, the sensory neuron is the blue one, which is here, takes information towards our central nervous system. From the stimulus towards our central nervous system. Now, our central nervous system consists of our spine and our brain, right? So this sensory neuron comes in here, and then this picture here, this part here represents a cross section of the spine. So this is like the spine, but looking from the top down. Okay, and we can see that there is the sensory, relay, and then motor neuron. Taking information, the motor neuron taking information to effectors, in which case is a muscle. Could have been a gland, because there's two types of effector, muscle or a gland. Okay, so we should be quite comfortable with this. I want to just add something to this now. Let's just take that cross section of the spine and look at it in a bit more depth. We've still got our stimulus coming in, being detected by our receptors, and an impulse initiated and being taken towards our central nervous system by a sensory neuron. Okay, the sensory neuron, the part of the sensory neuron that is inside, if you wish, the part that is inside our vertebrae, because all of this is our backbone, is called the dorsal root. I want to bring this to your attention here. This part here, so the sensory neuron becomes something called the dorsal root, which is inside the vertebrae, taking information ultimately to the relay neuron, through which there's a synapse here. So I'm introducing this bit here now, dorsal root. Going in, and then opposite one, ventral root, goes from the relay neuron to the motor neuron. It's just that little bit. Before and after the relay neuron. Dorsal root and ventral root. Okay? Just adding that on. So now let's look at how these structures are similar and different. So we've got here what we already know. Okay? We have the structure of a nerve cell. Now think about this. Some nerve cells will have lots of mitochondria in due to what they do, and some might have a bit less. We're going to look at that in a little bit. Okay? So yes, we know it's a cell body, but also remember there's organelles inside as well. We're happy with the myelin sheath, but do we know that they're made of Schwann cells? Schwann cells kind of wrap themselves around and round and round the axon like this to form the layer of myelin sheath. So the cells that make up the myelin are called Schwann cells. Okay. We've got the axon, we've got our nodes of Ranvier, and which are the gaps, and we've got our axon terminal. So we should be quite happy with this. I'm just introducing you now to the idea that there will definitely be organelles in the cytoplasm of the cell body. Okay? All right, so that's a generic, general structure of a neuron. And you can press pause and make your notes on this bit here. Okay, so now let's look at how there are similarities and differences between our three types of neuron. We know that we've got sensory, relay, and motor. We know that sensory takes 2, relay is in, and motor is taken out from the CNS. Okay. Now in this diagram, the red line shows the direction of the impulse. Okay, and just think about this. The impulse is always carried away from the cell body, if ever you're not sure. Sometimes these diagrams can be in different orientations. Okay, just look for the cell body and the direction is going to be away from it. All right, so just to make sure we're comfortable that all of these, all nerve cells are going to have organelles. A cytoskeleton will help these organelles move within the structure. You've learned about cytoskeleton, helps things within the cytoplasm to move. Okay, and we know about action potentials. Okay, and some happen with the brain and some happen without the brain. So, sensory neuron. Let's have a look at it here. Here's our sensory neuron. And the first thing that kind of makes us think what's going on here is the position of the cell body, because the cell body is in the middle. And there is a structure called a dendron that takes the impulse from the receptor to the cell body. And then from the cell body out, that structure now is called an axon. So this is new to us, this fact that we've got a dendron here. Only sensory cells, sensory neurons have a dendron. Okay? They have a long dendron, quite long. And everything else is as it is with the rest of our structure of the nerve cell. Okay? So the main feature here is that the cell body branches off in the middle of the cell, in a sensory cell. And here's our cell body with the organelles in it. Okay? Sensory neuron makes a synapse with a relay neuron. So now let's look at the relay neuron. Okay? Relay neuron, quite short, and we know that because it's just going to be in that region of the spine. Interesting, it has no myelin. No myelin whatsoever. It is not myelinated. Doesn't need to be, because the impulse is also the relay neuron is so small in itself that the impulse can just get through it fast enough. It's fine. We only need myelination if we've got a very long nerve cell, like some of the ones that go from the base of our spine all the way down our leg. A sciatic nerve can be up to a meter long. Yeah, that's a long distance for a nerve impulse. Here, relay neuron, dwelling, talking small distances. Let's not worry about the myelination. We don't need it. It's okay. Its cell body is at one end, just as we said, and the impulse travels from the cell body, away from the cell body. Okay. And the job of the relay neuron is to make sure that we get the correct specific response to a specific stimuli. Okay, so the main feature here is the fact that it's not myelinated and it's a lot more branched than the others. Okay, so there's a lot more branches than the others. Okay, because don't forget that relay neuron is going to be connecting information from lots of different places. Thirdly, our motor neuron, pretty large and has the cell body at one end. And the impulse travels from the cell body and away. Okay? It is highly branched also. It has all of the things that a nerve cell has. Okay? And it has many, many dendrites, so it can form connections with many, many, many other nerve cells. Okay, so that is, in detail, the differences between sensory, relay, and motor.